Mere conformists will be unsuccessful. BD number 6547. May 15, 1956. You will be unable to demonstrate any noteworthy success at the end of your earthly life if you have traveled the broad road, if you have joined other travelers without first having asked where the path of the masses is leading to. For then you will be mere conformists who believe that they can shift their responsibility onto other people, onto those who lead the crowds. Each individual person will come upon crossroads during his life on earth, and each time some of his companions will turn off, and then the human being will have to decide for himself which direction he wants to take. For as long as he merely remains a conformist for the rest of his life, he will have gained nothing for the salvation of his soul. This is why church organizations can never guarantee that their members will reach beatitude, for this has to be pursued and attained by every person himself, and although he can indeed be appropriately instructed, every person nevertheless has to do the work of improving his soul himself. That is, everyone will then have to take his own path of ascent. It is a big mistake for a person to think that he can pass the responsibility for his soul on to alleged leaders, to only ever comply with the requests of these leaders and to believe that this is conscious psychological work. And it is an even bigger mistake to believe that people should not scrutinize these leaders' requests, that they should unconditionally accept or believe everything that those in authority portray as truth. And even if it is the truth, every human being should form his own opinion of it, for only then will he be able to recognize when error creeps in and guard against it. But anyone who entirely relies on what definitely must be scrutinized should not assume that his omission will be excused. He should not assume that he can transfer his blame onto those who have guided him wrongly, for everyone can see the paths branching off and can take these just as easily as the trodden one, but he always needs to ask himself where the different paths will lead to and then make a conscious choice. However, anyone who keeps his eyes to the ground and thoughtlessly follows the crowds can miss the crossroads, and then it will be his fault as well, for he is supposed to be watchful himself. He is not meant to walk blindly since he was given the gift of sight. And he is supposed to think, because this is why he was given intellect, which he should use for attaining his salvation. And you also should know that the path of the masses will never be the right path. For the masses are led by God's adversary and the truth will never be found there. If only you humans would bear in mind that the adversary dominates on earth and that far more people belong to him than to God. If only people's wickedness, heartlessness, and spiritual low level would make you realize much power he has over the human race. Then, if you were seriously striving to reach your salvation, you would not move with the crowds, you would separate yourselves and find a path which leads in a different direction. You would pay attention to the messengers who lead the way with a light in order to illuminate the path. You would not be satisfied, you would think for yourselves and become ever more enlightened. Shake off your indifference where it concerns your soul's salvation. Don't let others take care of you, for your soul is your own responsibility, of which no one can relieve you. Try to contact God himself, choose him as your leader, liberate yourselves from those who want to be his representatives on earth, for his true representatives will only ever advise you to establish your own connection with God, but false representatives want to relieve you of your responsibility and just demand blind obedience from you and the fulfillment of their own commandments. If you want to attain bliss, then you will have to take the paths which lead to beatitude yourselves. You have to appeal to God to show you the right paths and to give you the strength to take them, even if they lead uphill. And God will also send the right guides to meet you. He will draw you to himself, and you will safely reach the right goal. Amen.